If Grandma's best baking days are behind her and you absolutely refuse to let the holidays pass without pumpkin pie, not to worry. Costco has you covered. The retail giant churns out millions of pumpkin pies each fall and have built up somewhat of a cult following. But what are those pies actually made with? Costco's pumpkin pies most certainly have that delicious nutmeg, cinnamon, and pumpkin flavor that one expects in a slice of pumpkin pie. The only thing is, the pumpkin in this pie isn't the same as that more decorative pumpkin you might also pick up from Costco to turn into a jack-o'-lantern. If we really want to be accurate here, Costco should probably start labeling its pumpkin pie as squash pie, because technically that's what it is. Unfortunately, that just doesn't roll off the tongue quite as nicely.
It's a squash.
Squash!
I cook it every Thanksgiving and no one eats it. Why? Because it's disgusting.
Before you dump your Costco pumpkin pie in the trash and demand to know why you've been misled by your favorite supplier of bulk groceries, it's important that we clear up two things. First off, your typical Halloween pumpkin, known as a field pumpkin, is also a type of squash. According to Heirloom Gardener, botanists typically only refer to a particular group of squash with the scientific name Cucurbita pepo as pumpkins. These squash tend to have that distinct round pumpkin shape and have different leaves and stems than other types of squash. It's also a lot prettier than the types of pumpkins that taste good, which are typically known as Dickinson pumpkins or Dickinson squash. The Dickinson variety of squash is actually more closely related to the butternut squash. It has more of an elongated shape, and it's a much paler orange color than a traditional Halloween-style pumpkin. Yes, you could carve it, but it's much better for eating. Even this is debatable among some in botany, though. Encyclopedia Britannica lists Cucurbita machata, aka Dickinson squash, as a type of pumpkin. Frankly, it's enough to make one throw down their plate of pumpkin pie in frustration and skip dessert altogether.
Any questions?
Yes! Several!
Okay, so the pumpkin squash debate aside, let's get back to the real issue here: the amount of pumpkin in those Costco pumpkin pies you can't stop buying. Get ready for some even more earth-shattering news. Unless your grandma was gutting field pumpkins herself and making them into a pie, she was probably baking up Dickinson squash pies at Thanksgiving too. This is because Libby's pumpkin puree accounts for 85% of pumpkin puree sold, and they use Dickinson squash because it tastes better than field pumpkins. So why is it that Libby's is able to get away with listing pumpkin on its label, even though that's very debatable? Well, like most things in the food world, the Food and Drug Administration had to get involved. Their website reads, "We have consistently advised canners that we would not initiate regulatory action solely because of their using the designation pumpkin or canned pumpkin on labels for articles prepared from golden-fleshed, sweet squash, or mixtures of such squash with field pumpkins. In the absence of any evidence that the designation misleads or deceives consumers, we see no reason to change this policy." Basically, the FDA said they didn't want any part in the pumpkin/squash debacle and threw up their arms a long time ago. Truth be told, you wouldn't really want a true pumpkin pie anyway, because classic field pumpkins just aren't that tasty. Colonial Americans only ate field pumpkins when they couldn't find any decent squash to eat. Field pumpkins were largely given to farm livestock to munch on. Oh, and prior to the 1800s, we didn't even refer to them as pumpkins anyway. Everything was just a squash, and one particular type of squash just tasted a lot crummier than the other. So perhaps we should all cut Costco and every other pumpkin pie baker out there some slack for the squash substitute. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more MASH videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.